Good evening. A Church of Scotland minister has opened an LGBT pride event for the first time. The Reverend Scott Burton apologised to the lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender community for any hurt they'd felt from the Kirk. Andrew Anderson reports.
Pride events are held regularly in Scotland's towns and cities. This was the first one in Perthshire though, and the Perth event marked another first.
Today I want my first words to you today to be, I'm so sorry.
The Reverend Scott Burton, a Church of Scotland minister in Perth, opening the event. He apologised to the LGBT community for any cruelty or injustice they'd felt from the Kirk. He told the festival goers that they would always be welcome to worship with him. Mr Burton acknowledged not everyone in the church would approve of his words, and their views also, he said, had to be respected.
I think the church is growing in a realisation that for the LGBT community, yeah, perhaps there's been times when we have got things wrong and we should rightly ask for forgiveness and apologise for that. And that is one of our steps of reaching out to say, look, you are our brothers and sisters in humanity. We love you. We want you to know God loves you and we want to walk together with you.
The organisers of Perthshire Pride welcomed the minister's decision to open their event.
I think the LGBT community really understand how brave he's being, because we know he's going to get probably quite a lot of backlash for this from certain groups of people, but we just want to say that we are 100% supportive of him and we think it's such a brave act that he's doing.
Mr Burton's speech followed a decision by the Kirk in 2017 to acknowledge a history of discrimination against gay people and to seek to do better. The Kirk also took a decision recently which could see it move closer to allowing all ministers and deacons to conduct same-sex marriages should they wish to. A final decision on that is expected in 2020. Andrew Anderson, reporting Scotland, Perth.
A 53-year-old man was slashed on the head after he was attacked by a gang at Govan in Glasgow. It happened early yesterday. Members of the public have had a chance to see the first part of a mural in Glasgow by the artist Banksy as work began to restore it. The framed Mona Lisa and gun-toting monkey were created at the Arches in 2001, but were painted over 6 years later. Crowdfunding and sponsorship secured the money for a team of experts to uncover the original. They'll stay on display in the city.
To clean this painting is what we're using is a combination of solvents which we use to soften and strip back the grey paint that's been put on top. At the same time, we would then very quickly neutralise those solvents so they don't eat into the artwork beneath the grey paint.
The Edinburgh International Book Festival is underway with more than 900 authors taking part from around the world. There'll be a series of debates, interviews, signings and shows over the next 2 weeks. This year the theme is freedom.
And it really chimes with the times that we're living through, where we have to decide which freedoms we want to choose as we look forward to a changing political climate in this country. Freedom of movement, freedom of trade, freedom of expression. These are all questions which are swilling around our discourse in culture at the moment.
On to football, and in the Scottish Premiership, Hearts inflicted an early defeat on the defending champions, beating Celtic 1-0 at Tynecastle. The former Rangers striker Kyle Lafferty's second-half volley after 57 minutes made it 2 wins from 2 for Hearts. The other results saw Aberdeen win away at Dundee. It was goalless between Livingston and Kilmarnock, and Motherwell lost at home to Hamilton. Now, before we go, the forecast from Christopher.
Sally, thank you. Hello there. Good evening to you. Well, it was a largely dry day for most of us today, fairly cloudy at times, but some sunshine coming through. All change though over the next few hours with an approaching warm front bringing thickening cloud and outbreaks of rain across the southern uplands, reaching the central belt by around about midnight and then further north through the early hours. It's a warm front, so it won't be as cold as last night. In fact, some places in the south perhaps holding in the mid-teens, but you'll notice further north where it remains clear, it will be cool. So to Sunday, and pretty different day compared with today. That rain's slowing down and it's going to sort of become stagnant through a good part of the central lowlands, so fairly soggy here at times. Brightening up along the Solway coast later on, and a humid feel, temperatures up to 20 or 21 degrees. Largely dry there in the far north and the Northern Isles with some sunshine. That's the forecast for now.
Christopher, thank you very much. And that's all from Reporting Scotland for now. You can keep up with all Scotland's main news, sport and weather on the BBC Scotland website. But from everyone here on the Weekend Team, have a very good evening. Bye-bye.